Good morning, Alice. This is Will. I apologize for the delay on follow through. I know I spoke to you earlier this week on getting this reading out, but it's been a crazy busy week. My friend and colleague was getting married, so I had to pick up some slack for her at work, and her job is draining. Couldn't do it every day. But anyways, we're going to get a reading in. You didn't really have any specific questions, so I'm just going to pull these cards and see what they say. I hope all is well this month, and I appreciate the compliment on the last reading. That's greatly appreciated. We got a card face up, a couple cards face up here. We're just going to lay these ones back here. Must have ended up in there wrong. If they pop out, they pop out. So right now we're just using a standard Rider-Waite tarot deck. This is my favorite tarot deck. I feel like I know it the best and I can get the most accurate and easiest reads out of it. I've got a ton of more experimental decks, but I don't really use them. More so just a collection. I use the tried and true. Alright, so I think I'm going to lay 10 cards for you today, rather than just 5. Because I'm not sure that I'm going to be using an oracle deck. I need to get some better oracle cards. I got a few of them, but I'm bored of them. Let's line these up nice and pretty and we'll have a look at what we got here. Alright, Alice, the first couple cards that I drew here for you are what I like to think about as representing like your overall vibe or persona is for the month. And what I see here, the first card that I've drawn is the High Priestess in the face-up position. And I see the High Priestess as a card of like she's a card of wisdom and counsel. Like she's wise, but she doesn't publicize her wisdom. She keeps her wisdom for those in her close circle, for those who actually will seek her out and learn about her. She doesn't necessarily have to be a female, but I see this as you. I see you as having some kind of information that's and it's valuable information. It's something that's worth teaching to other people, but it's something that you're keeping gilded from the rest of the world because maybe not everyone will accept it, or maybe not everyone will see it the way that you do, or you might be chastised or ridiculed for it. But it's a card of secrecy. I also learned not long ago that the High Priestess is a card of celibate love as well. I don't know if that resonates with you, and it doesn't necessarily have to because it's never how I've read it before. But she's also like she's a card of higher wisdom and like gilded wisdom and almost like the subconscious, the psyche, and counsel. The next card that I drew representing you this month is the Ten of Pentacles reversed. Now, what this indicates to me is that there's some sort of like your home life or your your home life or your work life. There's some type of disruption or discord there. There's something that's thrown out of alignment, and it was and it's either in like a big way out of alignment, or it's something that you worked really hard at to complete in the first place, but it's a little bit off right now. it's a card of, this is also a card of like a financial prosperity and fulfillment as well, but there's something that's just not right in one of those areas. So anyhow, the cards representing the people in our life. The first one I pulled is the Ace of Wands reversed, and I see the Ace of Wands is a card of idealism. So it's like a something that's intangible that we hope for, we long for, or we see in the future. This is a card of faith, and it's a card of spirituality, and it's a card of like a hope, creativity, passion, things of that nature. And when it's in the reverse position, I can see it being a card of like something that we're passionate about, or they're passionate about rather, and not such a pleasant way. It's something that's a little bit more malignant. They're fostering some kind of thought of like something dirty that they shouldn't be, not necessarily dirty in a sexual way, but dirty in a way like they're building some kind of resentment or some kind of negative passion. It's not necessarily towards you, but it could be towards anything. They're building up some kind of there's some kind of tension building up there, and it's just starting. I see the ace is the first card of the suit, but it's also the signifier of the suit, so it signifies a general idea. The next card that I drew was the Seven of Cups. Now, I want you to look at the imagery in that card. Okay, so we got the gentleman there, and he's looking at all the cups, and they got treasure in them. They've got a female in them. They got a snake and a dragon and all kinds of things that could catch your eye. And he stands there in bewilderment looking at all of these eye-catching things in the cups. But all of those things are temporary. I see the Seven of Cups is a card of temporary gain, or something that's going to bring them happiness immediately, and it's going to make them feel fulfilled. It's kind of like the card of maybe like alcoholism, or I don't want to compare it to alcoholism or drug addiction, but that's what I think of because I see the devil card representing that as well. But it's something that we see that's right there and available to us, and we want to reach out and grab it. But when we do grab it, it's going to make us happy for a little bit, but it's a very fleeting thing. So I think that somebody in your life they've got their eye on something that looks alluring and looks like it could bring them and possibly even you happiness, but it's not the kind of happiness that's going to be sustainable. It's going to be something that's fast, and it's going to be something that is fleeting as well. So what draws you to the people in your life, or draws them to you, or pushes you away, is the Three of Pentacles. Now I see this card as representing it's kind of like a judgment of craft. So we're working hard at something, and we're building something beautiful. So with the people in our life, we're working hard to build something beautiful together, or perhaps you're working to build something and they're overlooking, and they might be a little bit judgmental. Now, if we look, and I explained this in several other videos too, but we've got the craftsman there carving out the cathedral, and we've got the jester, and we have the, it's like a monk right there, looking at him and critiquing his work. Now, if we think about this card critically, and this is the way that I analyze this card, in 100 years, the jester, the craftsman, and the monk will all be deceased, and all that'll be left is this man's beautiful work of art in the temple. Nobody will remember anybody else. You're remembered by the fruits of your labor, the things that you work for, and the things that you create. This is a card of legacy. So, some potential outcomes here. First card I drew is the Page of Swords. The Page of Swords is the page is the messenger of the deck, and swords represents logic, intellect, thought, and consideration, and sometimes tension and conflict as well. So I can see there being a message sent your way, or perhaps there already is, that you're going to have to put a great deal of thought and consideration into. It's not going to be something that's fun to think about, but it's something that's very necessary to think about. Swords is the no-nonsense suit, while the other cards represent like hope, passion, love, money, faith, and all the other good stuff. The swords is not really that. Swords is bare bones. It's cold and analytical. The next card that I drew is the Hermit. Now, I see the Hermit as a card of wisdom as well, but a different kind of wisdom. This is the kind of wisdom that we build in solitude. This is doing things alone, being independent, self-sufficient, and working our way through things without the guidance of others, but perhaps we serve as a guide for other people. Finally, some other outcomes here. I drew the King of Swords reversed. Now, I see this as a card of like I see the King of Swords, just like the Page of Swords, as a very no-nonsense card. And when it's in reversed, I see it as being like a cold and to the point in a way that could be painful. I see this as being a card of like painful, like a painful decision, or a harsh judgment, or something that's being something that you feel like that you do need to do, and you need to be decisive about it and do it now. It's he's a no nonsense card. He doesn't rule by emotion, and he doesn't rule by faith, and he doesn't rule by like crafts or prosperity or any of that. He rules by the facts, and that's it. He sees it and he goes for it, and he cuts out all the bullshit. And the final card that I drew is the Two of Wands reversed. Now I see this card, and you know, if you look at the man in the card, he's holding his wands and he's staring out into the marsh there, and he's looking at his globe. So he's looking at bigger and better things. So how I would interpret these bottom cards here, the last two that I drew, is that we're cutting out something that needs to be cut out, and we're looking to the future for something bigger and better, or at least something new that's going to bring us some fulfillment. And that might be a sad process for you, and I'm real sorry about that. I really hope this was helpful for you, Alice. I'm uploading the video right now.